Welcome to SeatoStream Week at the Mary Olson Farm.
We're learning about our local watershed and how we can protect it and also protect it for salmon. So students are going around and doing hands-on stations here, and the kids are having a lot of fun.
So it's a great privilege to be able to be here and to pass that knowledge and that information and that heritage on to these children.
We developed the program with our partners at the Muckleshoot Indian Tribe, the King Conservation District, and the Environmental Science Center. We created this program to connect students to their local watersheds and Pacific Northwest salmon by pairing field science with traditional knowledge of our local tribe.
We're here this week to share parts of our cultural arts and cultural knowledge as it relates to salmon and salmon harvesting, showing the students how our ancestors traditionally harvested salmon and also contemporarily, and how a lot of those methods haven't changed except for some of the materials over thousands of years. As you can see, we brought one of our ocean-going canoes here so the kids can see it up close in hand. They can experience cultural arts and practice that we go out in and talk about how our people traditionally fished out of these vessels.
It's a Southern Puget Salish language. Our alphabet, you can see some of the letters up here, the create words. Hatslachel bak akbu Rose Davis seed stat buckle-shoot labs ched. It's a buckle-shoot lut to school to tall to buckle-shoot labs. Good day, everyone. I am here at Mary Olson Farm teaching Muckleshoot language in regards to fishing and fishing tools that our people use and salmon.
Thanks, guys. Have fun.
I'm here helping out today. I'm teaching the students the gifts that the nettle plant brings, from eating it to making tea, and ending on showing them how to make nettle cordage, which we can make nets out of, and teach the kids the strength that this plant has to have in order to pull hundreds of pounds of salmon out of the river, and also connecting it to the cultural practices, as in tying it around anchors, etc., for fishing vessels and canoes.
This week at SeatoStream, I am talking about predators.
Let's talk about these predators, okay? So it's an animal that likes to eat other animals.
We talk about different tactics that animals will utilize to survive in the wilderness, such as the turkey vulture, who will urinate on its legs to sterilize its legs after it's eaten this nasty carcass with a bunch of bad bacteria.
So we do field trip programs on the beach in the spring, and then in the fall we do this watershed program focused on salmon habitats and some of the limiting factors that affect their survival, and really the role that we all play in protecting salmon and their habitats. This has been a three-part partnership. We go in the classroom and we talk about the salmon life cycle. We show a picture of a healthy salmon habitat, really talk about what salmon need from their habitat. And then they come out to this field study and they get to rotate around 5 different stations. They see a watershed model, they add pollutants to the model and watch how those pollutants flow through storm drains, flow out to our nearest creeks and rivers. Just seeing the looks on their faces when they smell their first salmon carcass or see their first fish swimming upriver helps them understand what their role is in protecting their habitats.
Today I'm teaching students about the manure within the farm and how we should manage their manure so we're not letting it run off into our streams and causing problems in there. So this is the board to kind of help them understand the concepts, and then the compost pile and the manure piles over there to demonstrate what it actually looks like in real life, and looks like they've been having fun and we've been having a good time.
What do you see here? What does it smell like? What does it look like? What is it? Manure. It's manure.
And at this station, we're talking a lot about watersheds and the way we humans have impacts that can affect the living things downstream from us. And so in this station, we have this model of a watershed, and students talk about types of pollution that they see around them or they might see represented here. So things like, oh, they'll see cars, say, oh, maybe car oil will be one of them. And they get a chance to put the pollution on the watershed. And then we talk about, well, what's the usual weather we have here in Washington? Well, it rains, and you can see how the pollution flows downstream through the streams and eventually into Puget Sound. We talk about how do those living things at the bottom of the stream, like the bat ray or the sea star, how do you think they feel right now with all this car oil and soap and fertilizer in their home? It's hard to get it out once it's down in the bottom, but what are things that we all, especially young people, can do to help make sure it doesn't get into the watershed in the first place? Things like picking up after your dog, or instead of washing your car on the street, washing it either on the grass or taking it to a car wash. If they're gardening, trying to find natural alternatives to fertilizers or pesticides, things like that, to really help them start thinking about ways they impact the watershed, things downstream, and the living things all around them.
They get to dissect a specimen that's already spawned and touch some of the organs inside of it.
Give you guys, if you'd like, to kind of reach in.
Girls. That feels weird.
And mouth.
No, this is pronounced as squat. The salmon. Oh yeah, would you dissect it? Touch the island. Touch the.
And here we are at Mary Olson Farm to show the local school kids about salmon and why is it important to preserve our environment so the salmons can actually thrive. And if you look at the stream here, so we give the kids glasses like that so they can look at the stream and look for fish. We have lots of dead salmon. It means that the salmon actually came up and spawned and died. If we look carefully, we also see lots of fish eggs, and that's what I really like about this station here. It's because we have the diversity of live salmon, dead salmon, eggs, and if we look across the stream to the other side, we see carcasses that have been brought up the hill by scavengers. So there is a whole diversity of habitats roles, and the kids get to get a big picture, and I think it's very exciting for them. That's what I really like about this station.
So if you look into the water, right over here by this salmon, there's some eggs, little white dots, as well as right here. There's some right here for you guys. Little white dots.
And they also get to collect real data that we use.
At this station here, we are looking at the quality of the water. So we have the students testing the water in Olson Creek here. They do a variety of tests to see if the water is cold, clean, and clear. So we measure the temperature of the water with our thermometers to see if it's cold. We have our turbidity tubes here to look and see how clear the water is for the salmon. And then there's a variety of chemical tests, quick chemical tests that we do to see if there's any pollutants. For example, one of them looked at if there's any phosphates in the water. And so you can see the results from one of the group that just came through here. They measured, see if there's a little bit of phosphates in the water, but that the level is still excellent for salmon. So we determined overall over the course of these days that the water is cold, very cold. The water is clear and the water is pretty clean here for the salmon in Olson Creek.
Research has shown that students who have access to real scientific tools are more likely to pursue STEM careers in the future. So then we take the data they collect here on site and we go back in the classroom and we analyze the water quality data their smaller group took with all the other groups. And we analyze, is this a good place for salmon, bad place for salmon, and really talk about what our role is in protecting salmon habitats. At the very end, they receive their official Salmon Heroes card. That's their badge. They've completed this whole program. Now their job is to run home and tell their adults at home how they can help salmon, how they can help protect their habitats.
I am so excited to be here. I have worked for the Environmental Science Center for years doing the Salmon Heroes program at a number of different sites, all different sites, but this one by far is the most incredible. It's so amazing, and I cannot believe that all of these students get to come here to this incredibly special stream and this incredible habitat at this like beautiful old farm.
We are thrilled to have all of our partners at the farm this week to deliver this hands-on curriculum that is aligned with the next generation science standards and that also offers a place-based approach to the Washington State's since time immemorial curricular goals.
So it's just been a wonderful collaboration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.